You're standing at a crossroads, and the choices you make now will shape your future. It's now or never. Every moment you hesitate takes you further from the life you want. This is your wake-up call to stop waiting for the perfect time and start taking action. It doesn't matter where you are right now. What matters is where you choose to go from here. In this audiobook, we'll talk about how to take control, make swift decisions, and build a life that truly matters. The time to act is now. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Seize opportunities immediately to create lasting change. You wake up in the morning, another day of opportunity in front of you. Yet, despite the clear horizon of possibility, the mind starts to pull you in 100 different directions. There's always tomorrow, isn't there? You tell yourself you'll start that project, take that leap, or make that change when the time is right. But here's the truth. The right time is now. If you wait for perfect conditions or for all the stars to align, you'll spend your life waiting. Seizing the opportunities in front of you is what leads to change, not some distant future version of yourself that you think will somehow be more prepared or capable. The truth is, the only moment you can act is the one you're living in right now. Life doesn't wait. Every day presents opportunities, small moments, little decisions, fleeting chances, and every time you delay acting, those moments slip away, and you lose out on what could have been. The fear of not being prepared, of making mistakes, or of failure can keep you from taking that first step. But here's the harsh reality. Waiting for everything to be perfect is a form of self-sabotage. Perfection does not exist. It's an illusion that keeps you stuck. And staying stuck means letting life pass by without truly living. To create lasting change, you must learn to seize opportunities the moment they appear. Don't overthink. Don't hesitate. Understand that action is the key that unlocks everything. But this doesn't mean rushing in blindly or acting without thought. It's about recognizing those windows of opportunity and acting decisively, confidently, and with purpose. It's about choosing to take action even when you don't feel completely ready, because you know deep down that every action you take moves you closer to who you are meant to be. Start small, but start now. Opportunities are all around you, waiting to be seized. They don't always come in grand packages. Most often they appear in the form of small actions, decisions that seem insignificant, but when compounded over time, create massive change. Sending that email, writing that first page of your book. All of these are opportunities, waiting for you to make them real. The key is this: you are your own greatest obstacle. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your own hesitation. The what-ifs that fill your mind are distractions. They don't serve you. You don't need more time to think things through. You need more time to act. Action precedes clarity. You won't gain more confidence in your decisions by thinking longer. You will gain it by moving forward, taking one step at a time, and trusting that with each step, you'll learn and adapt. Seizing opportunities starts with overcoming your fears. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong choice. These are the barriers that prevent us from taking action. But think about this. Every successful person you admire has faced the same fears, yet they acted anyway. They didn't wait for fear to subside. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They acted because they understood that waiting is the biggest mistake you can make. They understood that action leads to progress, and progress is the only thing that leads to change. Think of your goals as mountains you want to climb. You can sit at the base, analyzing the summit, studying the terrain, and planning the perfect route. But none of that means anything if you don't take that first step. Seize the opportunity to climb, even if you're unsure of every step along the way. The journey will show you the next move, but only if you begin. You might stumble, you might face obstacles, but without action, there's no progress, no momentum, and no chance to reach the top. There is no transformation without action. Now, let's talk about the most common excuse: waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time, no ideal moment when everything will magically fall into place. Life doesn't work that way. There will always be something that feels uncertain or out of your control. But here's what you can control: the decision to take action right now despite the uncertainty. The longer you wait, the more you let doubt creep in, and the more you procrastinate. The truth is, it's never the right time, it's only the right decision to act. You may wonder how to know when to seize an opportunity. The answer is simple: if you're waiting for certainty, you're waiting for the wrong thing. Stop searching for a sign, or waiting for perfect conditions. The sign is already in front of you. The fact that you are even thinking about it means it's time to take action. The secret to achieving lasting change is this: start where you are, with what you have, and go forward. You don't need the perfect plan, the perfect resources, or the perfect moment. All you need is the courage to act now. Action is the bridge between intention and achievement. Let's break it down into actionable steps. 1. Recognize the opportunity. Opportunities are everywhere. They are in the conversations you have, the emails you send, the small decisions you make every day. You don't need to wait for the big break. Instead, start by identifying small opportunities around you. Is there a conversation you've been avoiding? A task you've been putting off? A change you've been resisting? These are opportunities. Recognize them and don't let them pass by. 2. Take immediate action. Once you've recognized an opportunity, take immediate action. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for more information. Just do something, anything, to move forward. This can be as simple as sending that email or making that phone call. Even if you don't know what's next, action is the key that unlocks the next door. 3. Push past hesitation. Hesitation is a form of fear. It's the brain's way of protecting you from making mistakes or facing failure. But here's the truth: hesitation keeps you stuck. Every time you hesitate, you delay your progress. To overcome hesitation, commit to taking action the moment you feel it creeping in. The next time you hesitate, force yourself to act immediately, even if it's just a small step forward. 4. Build momentum. Once you've taken the first step, keep moving. Action breeds more action. When you start small and build momentum, you'll find that the next steps are easier to take. Momentum is powerful. The more you act, the more confident you become, and the more natural it feels to keep moving forward. 5. Learn as you go. Taking action is not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't need to have all the answers or a detailed plan. What matters is that you are moving forward. With each action, you'll learn more. With each failure, you'll gain wisdom. Don't wait until you have all the answers. Act and learn as you go. 6. Embrace the discomfort. Acting immediately often means stepping out of your comfort zone. And while that can feel uncomfortable, it's where growth happens. Discomfort is the sign that you're on the right path. When you feel the urge to hesitate or pull back, remember that growth requires discomfort. Lean into it. 7. Reflect and adjust. After taking action, take time to reflect on your progress. What worked? What can you adjust for the next step? Reflection is essential for growth. It helps you identify patterns and fine-tune your approach. But don't get stuck in reflection for too long. Act, reflect, adjust, and keep moving forward. Seizing opportunities is about more than just taking action. It's about developing a mindset that is not afraid to fail, not afraid to try, and not afraid to act. It's about trusting yourself enough to make decisions and move forward, even when you're unsure of the outcome. You have to believe that your actions, no matter how small, are leading you to something greater. So today, take that first step. Stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The perfect time is now. Start where you are, with what you have, and move forward. The world is full of opportunities, just waiting to be seized. The only thing stopping you is your decision to wait. The choice is yours. Will you continue to wait, or will you seize the opportunity in front of you right now? The future begins today, and it starts with your decision to act. Don't wait. Take action now, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes. Chapter 2. Challenge your limits to unlock your full potential. When you look at the life you desire to live, what do you see? How do you imagine the person you need to become in order to achieve it? Most people know what they want, but far fewer are willing to push themselves to the limits required to unlock their true potential. The difference between the person you are today and the person you need to become is found in your willingness to challenge your limits. Many of us live in a comfort zone that is dictated by our past experiences, our fears, and the boundaries we've set for ourselves. But the truth is, comfort is the enemy of growth. You will never reach the heights you're capable of while staying within the confines of what feels easy. To reach the next level in your life, you must be willing to step into discomfort, challenge your limitations, and push beyond what you believe is possible. Growth happens when you push yourself to do what you thought was impossible. The road to unlocking your full potential is not paved with certainty or comfort. It is built on a foundation of struggle, discomfort, and persistence. You will encounter obstacles, face failures, and experience setbacks, but each challenge you face is an opportunity to break through the limits you've placed on yourself. Think about the things you have accomplished in your life so far. How many of those things required you to challenge yourself, to push past the limits you once believed were fixed? It's easy to forget, but every accomplishment you've had up to this point came from a moment of pushing past what you thought was possible. Whether it was learning to walk as a child, standing up to a difficult challenge in your career, or facing personal adversity, you didn't know you could do it until you did. That's the power of challenging your limits. You have far more capacity than you realize, and the only way to discover what you're truly capable of is by pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. When you challenge your limits, you tap into hidden reservoirs of strength, creativity, and determination that you didn't even know you possessed. It's natural to feel resistance when faced with challenges. Your mind wants to protect you from discomfort, from failure, from the unknown. It tells you to stay within the safe, familiar zone where you feel secure. But here's the paradox: safety and security never lead to growth. When you stay where you are, nothing changes. The person you are today will always be the person you are, unless you decide to step outside of your comfort zone and stretch the boundaries of what you believe is possible. Imagine a muscle. In order to grow, a muscle needs to be stretched and challenged. It has to endure tension, stress, and even pain in order to become stronger. The same is true for your mind and your potential. In order to grow into the person you want to be, you must stretch your mental and emotional boundaries. You must embrace discomfort, not as something to fear, but as a sign of progress. In today's world, there's constant pressure to be comfortable. With technology, entertainment, and even social media at our fingertips, it's easier than ever to stay in our bubble of familiarity. But comfort never leads to greatness. Comfort keeps you stagnant, while growth demands change. If you're not challenging yourself, you're not growing. So how do you challenge your limits? The first step is recognizing where those limits exist. What are the areas of your life where you feel the most resistance? Is it in your career, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth? These are the places where you're being called to stretch yourself. It's not always the easiest thing to face, but it's essential for unlocking your full potential. Once you've identified the areas where you need to challenge yourself, take immediate action. The key to pushing past your limits is to begin. Many people get caught up in planning and overthinking, trying to come up with the perfect approach. But here's the truth. There is no perfect plan. The first step is always the hardest, but it's the most important. Once you take that first step, momentum will begin to build, and the next step will seem easier. Challenge is uncomfortable by nature. It brings uncertainty and often triggers self-doubt. But rather than running from discomfort, learn to embrace it. When you feel uncomfortable, that's when the most growth occurs. Discomfort is a signal that you're expanding, that you're reaching beyond your current self. The second step is to embrace failure as part of the process. The most successful people didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure. They got there by failing, learning from their mistakes, and then continuing to take action. Failure is not a reflection of your abilities, it's simply feedback on what didn't work. When you see failure as an opportunity to learn, you remove the fear of it and open yourself to the possibility of success. The more you challenge yourself, the more you will encounter resistance, both from external circumstances and from within yourself. This is where self-discipline becomes crucial. It's easy to quit when things get tough, to back down when you hit a wall. But self-discipline is the ability to keep going when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to show up for yourself, day after day, even when progress feels slow or when you face setbacks. Discipline is the muscle that keeps you moving forward, even when the going gets tough. As you push past your limits, you will discover new capabilities within yourself. You will uncover strengths you never knew you had. You will find that you are more resilient than you believed, more creative than you thought, and more capable than you imagined. The key to unlocking your full potential is not to wait for the perfect conditions, but to challenge yourself consistently, to step into the unknown, and to keep moving forward no matter the obstacles. One of the greatest gifts of challenging your limits is that it forces you to become more resourceful. You will be pushed to find solutions, to think outside the box, and to become more creative in how you approach problems. When you're forced to go beyond what's comfortable, you tap into a deep well of creativity and innovation that you might not otherwise access. It's in these moments of discomfort and challenge that you will discover your true potential. Think about the last time you faced a challenge. How did you respond? Did you back down, or did you rise to the occasion? Your response to challenges determines your level of growth. Every time you choose to face a challenge head-on, you make progress. It doesn't matter how small the victory is. The fact that you took action means you are one step closer to unlocking your full potential. Remember, there will be moments when you want to quit, when the struggle seems too great, when it feels like nothing is working. But this is exactly when you must dig deeper. This is when the greatest transformation occurs. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth is permanent. Push through the pain, face the challenges, and keep moving forward. The more you challenge your limits, the stronger you become, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Each time you overcome an obstacle, you become more resilient. You learn to adapt to new situations, to handle adversity, and to keep going even when the path is unclear. Your resilience is what will carry you through the tough times and push you toward greater success. As you challenge your limits, always remember this: it's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. The key to unlocking your potential is in your persistence, your ability to show up every day and keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to becoming the person you are capable of being. The person you are today is not the person you will be tomorrow. Every time you challenge your limits, you become a new version of yourself, one that is stronger, wiser, and more capable. And as you continue on this journey of growth, you will find that the impossible is no longer out of reach. It's something you can achieve with determination, focus, and the willingness to push beyond your comfort zone. So challenge yourself today. Push past the limits you've set for yourself. Step into the discomfort. Embrace the failure. Stay disciplined. Keep moving forward. And know that every challenge you face is an opportunity to unlock a deeper, more powerful version of yourself. The road to greatness is built on challenging your limits, and it starts now. Chapter 3: Cultivate daily habits that lead to continuous improvement. Every day presents an opportunity to take a step forward or to remain stagnant. The choices you make in the quiet moments of your daily routine have the power to either elevate your life or keep you stuck where you are. The secret to continuous improvement lies in the habits you cultivate every single day. It's not about making one big, monumental change in your life. It's about the small, consistent actions you take day in and day out. Over time, these habits compound, shaping your future in ways you can't always predict, but always control. To truly change your life, you must understand that your future self is being shaped by the actions you take today. It's easy to get caught up in the big picture and feel overwhelmed by how far you have to go. But when you break it down into daily habits, the process becomes more manageable, less daunting, and far more effective. You don't have to achieve everything all at once. You simply need to show up every day, commit to small actions, and trust that those actions will lead to significant transformation over time. Think about a garden. If you plant a seed today and water it every day, you may not see a noticeable change immediately. But over time, with consistent care, that seed will grow into something powerful. It will transform from something small and fragile into something strong and substantial. Your daily habits are like the water, the sunlight, and the soil for your personal growth. If you consistently nurture them, you will see results, sometimes faster than you expect, but often in ways that surprise you. One of the biggest obstacles to cultivating good habits is the feeling of impatience. People want immediate results, and when they don't see changes quickly, they tend to lose motivation. But real growth doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the consistent small actions that may not be visible at first, but will pay off in the long run. The foundation of continuous improvement is patience and persistence. Without it, even the best intentions will fall short. Start with one simple habit. It could be something as simple as reading for 15 minutes each day, or drinking more water, or getting up an hour earlier to work on your goals. The key is not to overcomplicate things. Small habits, when performed consistently, will lead to big results over time. Think about habits like lifting weights. You don't expect to become strong after one session. It's the process of showing up day after day, lifting a little more weight each time, that leads to strength. The same principle applies to personal growth. Begin by identifying the areas of your life where you most need improvement. Do you want to get in better shape? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to improve your career or learn a new skill? Identify the things that matter most to you and then break them down into daily actions. If your goal is to get in shape, commit to moving your body for 20 minutes a day. If you want to write, commit to writing 500 words a day. Every small action, repeated consistently, will eventually lead to mastery. The key is to make your habits so simple that you can't fail. Often people try to do too much at once, and they end up overwhelmed. They think that in order to change their life, they need to make drastic changes all at once. But that kind of thinking leads to burnout. Instead, commit to the small, easy-to-implement habits that you can do every day without feeling overwhelmed. For instance, if your goal is to become healthier, start by making one small change. Drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up. This is a simple, easy-to-do habit that can lead to larger changes down the road. The power of habit lies in its compounding effect. Small habits, repeated over time, add up to something much bigger. It's like investing in the stock market. You don't see major returns on a single transaction, but over time, with consistent effort, your investments can multiply. The same principle applies to habits. Each time you make a choice to follow through on a healthy habit, whether it's eating better, exercising, or learning something new, you are investing in your future self. Once you've identified a habit to start with, focus on making it a non-negotiable part of your routine. The most successful people in the world have one thing in common: consistency. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day and committing to small, meaningful actions. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do something you hate. It's about creating systems and structures in your life that make success inevitable. It's about choosing to show up even when you don't feel like it. Start by attaching your new habit to something you already do every day. This is called habit stacking. For example, if you already drink coffee every morning, make it a habit to read for 10 minutes right after you finish your coffee. By attaching a new habit to an existing one, you make it easier to stick to. The brain thrives on patterns, and creating positive routines makes it more likely that you'll follow through on your goals. Another powerful strategy is to track your progress. Tracking keeps you accountable and provides motivation. Whether it's a fitness goal, a financial target, or a personal development objective, tracking your progress helps you stay committed. Use a journal, an app, or a simple calendar to mark your accomplishments every day. Seeing that visual representation of your progress reinforces the belief that you're capable of achieving your goals. The next step is to build on your success gradually. Once you've established one small habit, don't stop there. The momentum you gain from your first habit will carry you forward, allowing you to add more habits over time. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many changes at once. Focus on consistency and progress. Once one habit becomes ingrained in your routine, it will feel natural to add another one. Over time, you'll find that your daily habits are propelling you forward, and you'll be living a life that is far more aligned with your goals. One of the biggest obstacles to cultivating habits is resistance from your own mind. The part of you that wants to stay comfortable will fight against change. It's easy to make excuses. I'm too tired today. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. These thoughts will come, but you can't let them control you. The more you push through resistance, the stronger you'll become. Remember, the first step is always the hardest, but once you push through, the habit will become easier. It's also important to understand that not every day will be perfect. Some days you will fall short. You might skip a workout or miss a writing session, but that's okay. The key is to get back on track as soon as possible. Don't let a single setback derail your entire progress. Every day is a new opportunity to start fresh, to recommit, and to continue moving toward your goals. In addition to personal habits, consider how you can build habits that help you engage with the world around you. Engaging with other like-minded individuals and seeking support from mentors can create a powerful feedback loop. Surrounding yourself with people who encourage you to grow will hold you accountable and inspire you to continue pushing forward. You can't do it alone, and seeking support is one of the best ways to sustain your journey of improvement. Lastly, celebrate your wins, no matter how small they are. Every victory is a step forward, and it's important to recognize and honor that progress. By acknowledging your achievements, you reinforce the positive habits you've created, making it more likely that you'll continue on your path of continuous improvement. Reward yourself for consistency, not perfection. It's the daily practice, the effort you put in consistently, that leads to the real transformation. Remember that your future self is being shaped by the habits you form today. Every action you take, every habit you cultivate, is creating the person you will become. Don't underestimate the power of daily routines. These small, seemingly insignificant actions will determine the course of your life. So start now. Choose one habit that will take you closer to your goals. Commit to it, make it a part of your daily routine, and watch as the consistency of your actions leads to continuous improvement and a transformed life. Chapter 4. Face your fears directly to fuel personal growth. Fear is an invisible barrier that prevents many people from reaching their true potential. It's a force that can either paralyze you or drive you forward, depending on how you choose to face it. Fear is natural. It's an instinct that has kept humanity safe for centuries, warning us of dangers and keeping us out of harm's way. But in the modern world, most of the fears we face are not life-threatening. They're self-imposed limitations, thoughts and beliefs that prevent us from stepping into our power. The truth is, fear isn't something that can be avoided or ignored. It's not something that will simply disappear if you wait long enough. Fear is something that needs to be faced directly, head-on. When you confront your fears, not only do you diminish their power over you, but you also fuel your own growth. Growth only occurs when you step out of your comfort zone, and fear is a signal that you're moving in the right direction. Most people try to avoid fear because it feels uncomfortable. It's a normal human instinct to want to stay in a place of safety and familiarity. But real growth requires discomfort. It's only through the trials, struggles, and challenges that you can learn, adapt, and evolve. If you continue to live in the bubble of comfort, you will never expand, and your potential will remain dormant. It's important to understand that fear is not something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace. When you face your fears directly, you take away their power. You turn the tables and become the one in control. The next time you encounter something that scares you, whether it's public speaking, confronting a difficult conversation, or trying something new, remind yourself that fear is simply a signal that you're on the verge of growth. Every time you push through fear, you build strength and resilience. It's like building muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. One of the most common fears people face is the fear of failure. This fear holds many people back from pursuing their dreams or even taking small risks. The reality is, failure is an inevitable part of life. It's not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. Failure is a stepping stone to success. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable that helps you grow stronger and more capable. Without failure, there is no progress. If you want to achieve anything worthwhile, you must be willing to fail, and then get back up and try again. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure. They got there by failing, learning from their mistakes, and trying again. They used fear and failure as fuel to drive them forward, and the same applies to you. The only way to truly fail is to never try at all. When you face your fears, you take the first step toward turning your failures into stepping stones for future success. Another fear that many people face is the fear of judgment. This fear often keeps people from putting themselves out there or pursuing their passions because they're worried about what others will think. It's natural to care about the opinions of others, but you must stop letting that dictate your actions. The only judgment that truly matters is the judgment you place on yourself. If you constantly allow the fear of judgment to control you, you will never truly be yourself. To face the fear of judgment, you must stop seeking validation from others. Your worth is not determined by other people's opinions. It's important to remember that people are more focused on their own lives and struggles than they are on you. In the grand scheme of things, no one is paying as much attention to you as you think. When you let go of the fear of judgment, you open yourself up to being authentic, to pursuing what truly matters to you without hesitation or regret. Fear of rejection is another barrier that holds people back from reaching their full potential. This fear often prevents individuals from reaching out for opportunities, pursuing relationships, or asking for what they want. Rejection feels personal, but it isn't. It's simply a part of life and a part of the process. You will face rejection in many forms throughout your life, but it's important to understand that rejection is not a reflection of your value. Every rejection is simply a redirection to something better, something more aligned with your goals. To overcome the fear of rejection, you must take action regardless of the potential for rejection. If you wait for the perfect conditions or for a guarantee that you won't be rejected, you will never act. Rejection is not the end. It's a lesson. Each rejection you face will teach you something new and bring you closer to the right opportunity. You must stop letting rejection hold you back and start seeing it as a necessary part of the journey. One of the most powerful ways to face your fears is to take small, consistent steps toward the things that scare you. Don't try to tackle everything at once. Start small and gradually build your confidence. If public speaking terrifies you, start by speaking in front of a small group of friends or colleagues. If you fear starting your own business, begin by doing research, making a plan, and taking small actions every day. The key is to take action. Action diminishes fear. Fear thrives in the absence of action. The more you sit with your fears and overthink them, the more power they have over you. But when you take action, even the smallest step, fear loses its grip. It's only through action that you'll realize that most of the things you fear are not as scary as they seem. Often the anticipation of fear is worse than the reality of facing it. To take this further, you must also change the way you view fear. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, start seeing it as a signal that you're moving in the right direction. When you feel fear, it's often because you are stepping outside your comfort zone and venturing into new territory. Instead of running from fear, lean into it. Recognize that fear is a part of growth and that it's something you must embrace if you want to become the person you are meant to be. Visualization can be a powerful tool for overcoming fear. When you visualize yourself succeeding despite your fears, you train your brain to see success as possible. You begin to imagine the positive outcome rather than dwelling on the worst-case scenario. By creating a mental image of yourself succeeding, you reprogram your mind to expect success, which diminishes fear. Remember, fear is not the enemy. It's a signal. It's a sign that you're on the verge of something great. When you confront it, you take back your power. When you push through it, you strengthen your resilience. Facing your fears is the only way to unlock your true potential. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The more you face fear, the more you will grow. The more you push past the discomfort, the more you will evolve. So today, take action. Choose to face one fear. Start small and build from there. Recognize that fear is not something to be avoided, it's something to be used. Let it fuel your growth. Let it propel you forward, and as you do, you will discover a new strength within yourself that you never knew existed. Fear is not a wall, it's a doorway. Walk through it, and you'll find the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 5. Hold yourself accountable to achieve your aspirations. Accountability is one of the most powerful tools you can use to achieve your aspirations. It is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. If you want to achieve anything of significance in life, you must learn to hold yourself accountable. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one can do the work for you. The responsibility for your success lies squarely on your shoulders. If you can embrace this truth and take ownership of your journey, you will unlock the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. When you hold yourself accountable, you take full responsibility for your actions, your decisions, and the results you achieve. This means no excuses, no blaming others, and no shifting responsibility. It means owning up to your mistakes and learning from them instead of pointing fingers. Accountability creates a direct link between intention and action. When you know that you are the only one responsible for your progress, you will become more committed, more disciplined, and more focused on your goals. The first step in holding yourself accountable is setting clear and meaningful goals. Without a clear direction, accountability becomes difficult because there is nothing to measure. Take the time to define what you want to achieve and make sure your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The more specific and detailed your goals are, the easier it will be to stay focused and stay on track. Once your goals are clear, the next step is to break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. Achieving big goals can feel overwhelming, but when you break them down into smaller steps, they become much more attainable. You don't need to accomplish everything in one day, but you must make consistent progress toward your goal every day. This is where accountability becomes critical. When you break your larger goals into smaller tasks, you create a roadmap that you can follow. Each small step is a promise you make to yourself, and each task you complete is a reflection of your commitment. Another important aspect of accountability is tracking your progress. Tracking helps you stay aware of how far you've come and how much more you need to do. It keeps you focused on the task at hand and reminds you that every step forward is a step toward your goal. It also serves as a tool for reflection. When you look back at what you've accomplished, you can see where you've been successful and where you may have fallen short. This awareness allows you to adjust your approach and stay on course. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, and they can easily derail your progress. To hold yourself accountable, you must eliminate or minimize distractions. This might mean creating a more focused environment, turning off notifications, or setting designated times to work on your goals. You must commit to doing the work and resist the urge to procrastinate or let distractions take over. Accountability requires discipline. It's about doing the work even when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, and when you don't feel like it. If you wait for the perfect moment or for motivation to strike, you will never get anything done. The key is to take action, even when you don't feel like it. One of the most powerful ways to hold yourself accountable is to track your actions and results. You can keep a journal, a calendar, or a spreadsheet, to track your progress. This not only keeps you accountable, but also helps you identify patterns in your behavior. Are there certain times of day when you are most productive? Are there tasks that you tend to avoid? When you track your progress, you become more aware of the habits that are helping you and the ones that are hindering your success. Holding yourself accountable also means creating systems and structures that support your success. This might include establishing daily routines, setting deadlines, or creating a step-by-step plan for achieving your goals. The more structure you have, the easier it will be to stay on track. When you have a system in place, you don't have to rely on willpower alone. Your system becomes your guide, and following it becomes a habit. When you commit to following your system, you ensure that you are making steady progress toward your aspirations. Another critical aspect of accountability is self-reflection. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day tasks and lose sight of the bigger picture. That's why it's important to periodically take a step back and evaluate your progress. Ask yourself questions like, what have I accomplished so far? What obstacles have I faced? What lessons have I learned? How can I adjust my approach moving forward? Self-reflection allows you to make course corrections and keep your efforts aligned with your goals. There will be times when you face setbacks or challenges. These are the moments when accountability becomes especially important. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to make excuses or to blame external factors. But the most successful people don't let setbacks derail them. Instead, they view them as opportunities to grow and learn. When you hold yourself accountable, you don't make excuses. You take responsibility for your actions and find ways to improve. At times, holding yourself accountable may feel difficult, especially when the results aren't immediate or when progress seems slow. But the key to long-term success is persistence. If you continue to take action, no matter how small, you will make progress. Accountability doesn't mean that you won't encounter obstacles. It means that you won't give up when you do. It means that you will continue to move forward, even when things get tough. Another powerful way to hold yourself accountable is to surround yourself with people who will challenge you to be your best. While you are ultimately responsible for your own success, having a support system can help keep you on track. This might mean finding a mentor, joining a mastermind group, or simply sharing your goals with a trusted friend or family member. When you have people in your life who hold you accountable, you are more likely to stay committed to your goals. But accountability isn't just about achieving success, it's also about personal integrity. When you hold yourself accountable, you align your actions with your values and your principles. This means making decisions that are in line with your long-term vision, even when it's hard. It's about choosing what is right over what is easy, and staying true to your commitments, even when no one is watching. Accountability requires a mindset shift. It's about taking ownership of your actions, your results, and your life. It's about understanding that your future is a direct result of the choices you make today. When you make the decision to hold yourself accountable, you begin to see your life differently. You begin to understand that your dreams are not some distant possibility. They are attainable if you are willing to do the work and stay committed to the process. In the end, accountability is about self-mastery. It's about becoming the kind of person who does what they say they will do, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, and even when it feels uncomfortable. When you hold yourself accountable, you create a life of integrity, discipline, and achievement. You unlock the power to transform your dreams into reality. The journey toward your aspirations will not always be easy, but when you hold yourself accountable, you increase your chances of success. Accountability is the key to consistency. It's the difference between wishing for a better life and actually creating one. If you want to achieve your aspirations, you must first commit to holding yourself accountable every single day. This simple but powerful shift will transform your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your life. Take responsibility for your success, and everything will change. Chapter 6. Adopt a growth mindset to overcome any obstacle. A growth mindset is one of the most powerful tools you can develop to overcome obstacles and achieve lasting success. It is a way of thinking that sees challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and progress as a continuous process. Adopting a growth mindset is the key to turning adversity into a stepping stone toward your personal and professional goals. It enables you to persevere through difficulties, adapt to change, and keep pushing forward even when the road gets tough. With a growth mindset, you believe that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed. They can be developed and expanded with effort, persistence, and learning. At its core, a growth mindset is about embracing the belief that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities to grow. The most successful people are those who view setbacks as temporary and see their mistakes not as failures, but as valuable lessons. They don't dwell on what went wrong. They focus on what they can learn from the experience and how they can do better next time. In other words, a growth mindset is about taking control of your mindset and using it to fuel your progress, rather than letting obstacles stop you in your tracks. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop fearing failure. Instead of worrying about making mistakes, you become excited about the learning that comes with them. Failure is no longer a reflection of your limitations, but an indication that you are trying, pushing your boundaries, and learning from your experiences. You begin to see every setback as a part of the process, not the end of the journey. A growth mindset allows you to stay resilient in the face of challenges. When things don't go as planned, you don't get discouraged, you get creative. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you say, "How can I figure this out?" You begin to look at obstacles with a problem-solving mindset, seeking ways to improve, adapt, and innovate in order to overcome them. You don't back down from challenges, you lean into them, knowing that with effort and persistence, you can always improve. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is that it allows you to focus on the process, not just the outcome. Instead of fixating solely on your end goals, you begin to find satisfaction in the effort, the learning, and the improvement that comes from tackling a challenge. This shift in perspective transforms your approach to everything you do. Rather than seeing tasks as a means to an end, you start to appreciate the growth and progress that occurs along the way. This mindset encourages you to keep going, even when the results aren't immediate or when success seems far off. A growth mindset also cultivates a deeper sense of self-belief. When you believe that your abilities are not fixed and that you can always learn and improve, you start to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You stop doubting yourself and start trusting the process. This belief in your own capacity for growth is incredibly empowering. It pushes you to take on challenges that you might otherwise shy away from and take risks that you would have once deemed too difficult. One of the best ways to develop a growth mindset is to change your language. The words you use have a profound impact on how you think and feel. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," say, "I'm not good at this yet." This small shift in language transforms your perspective. It signals to your brain that growth is possible. When you add the word "yet" to your thoughts, you open yourself up to the idea that your abilities can be developed over time with practice and effort. It signals that the journey of growth is just beginning and that your current limitations are not permanent. Another important practice for fostering a growth mindset is to embrace challenges, not avoid them. It's natural to feel resistance when faced with difficulty, but that resistance is often an indication that you're about to step into growth. The most successful people in the world aren't those who avoid challenges, but those who seek them out. When you embrace challenges, you expand your capacity to overcome them. With each challenge, you become more capable, more resilient, and more skilled. To fully adopt a growth mindset, it's essential to shift your focus from fixed outcomes to ongoing progress. Instead of measuring your worth based on external achievements or comparisons to others, measure your growth by the progress you make. Celebrate small wins along the way. When you recognize the incremental steps you're taking forward, you not only boost your motivation, but also reinforce the belief that you are indeed capable of growth and improvement. This shift in mindset fosters a more positive relationship with yourself and your journey, allowing you to keep moving forward even when things seem difficult. Another important aspect of developing a growth mindset is learning to embrace feedback. When you seek out constructive criticism and actively learn from others, you show a willingness to improve. Feedback is a powerful tool for growth. It provides insights that help you refine your approach, adjust your strategies, and become more effective. Instead of taking feedback personally or seeing it as a sign of failure, use it as a source of learning. Embrace it with gratitude and an open mind, knowing that it's helping you get one step closer to your goal. Resilience is a cornerstone of the growth mindset. When you encounter failure or rejection, you don't let it define you. You don't give up or throw in the towel. Instead, you use those experiences as fuel to keep moving forward. Resilience means getting back up, learning from the setback, and trying again with more knowledge and wisdom. Resilient individuals understand that failure is a temporary condition, not a permanent identity. They view each setback as part of the process, not a reflection of their worth or ability. Furthermore, the power of perseverance cannot be overstated in developing a growth mindset. It's easy to feel discouraged when things don't go as planned, but it's crucial to stay committed and keep going even when progress feels slow or invisible. Perseverance is about continuing to move forward despite the obstacles that arise. It's about showing up every day and doing the work, even when the results aren't immediate. This persistent effort compounds over time, leading to exponential growth. An important aspect of overcoming obstacles with a growth mindset is being able to reframe your thinking when things get difficult. Instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable problems, try to reframe them as opportunities for growth. For example, if you fail at something, don't think, "I failed because I'm not good enough." Instead, try thinking, "I learned something valuable from this failure that will help me improve next time." Reframing challenges in this way shifts your perspective from a fixed mindset to a growth-oriented one. Another practical step in adopting a growth mindset is developing the habit of self-reflection. Taking the time to look back at your experiences, learn from them, and make adjustments allows you to grow more effectively. Self-reflection helps you identify patterns in your behavior, your thinking, and your actions that may be holding you back. It's an opportunity to check in with yourself and ask what's working, what's not. How can I improve? This practice of regular reflection helps you stay aligned with your growth goals and make necessary adjustments along the way. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in the growth mindset. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your energy toward abundance, not scarcity. Gratitude allows you to see the positives in any situation, even in the midst of difficulty. It fosters a mindset that appreciates the learning process and the small wins that add up over time. By practicing gratitude, you create a mindset that sees opportunities, not obstacles. In conclusion, adopting a growth mindset is one of the most powerful things you can do to overcome obstacles and unlock your full potential. When you embrace challenges, see failure as a learning opportunity, and believe in your ability to improve, you become unstoppable. Growth is not a linear path, and it won't always be easy, but with a growth mindset, you will persevere, adapt, and ultimately succeed. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress, learning from each experience, and continually improving. This mindset will allow you to face any obstacle, turn setbacks into opportunities, and build a life of growth, fulfillment, and success. Chapter 7. Build resilience by embracing and learning from failures. Failure. It's a word we all fear at some point in our lives, yet it is a necessary part of success. Without failure, there is no growth. Without setbacks, there is no learning. In fact, the most resilient people are often those who have failed the most, because they have learned how to stand up, dust themselves off, and continue moving forward with even greater determination. Embracing failure and learning from it is the key to building resilience, and resilience is one of the most vital traits for anyone seeking to achieve lasting success. Resilience is often misunderstood as the ability to bounce back from challenges without being affected by them. But in reality, resilience is not just about bouncing back. It's about growing stronger as a result of facing adversity. It's about being shaped and molded by the struggles you encounter, using them as stepping stones to propel you forward. Resilience is the ability to not just endure, but to thrive in the face of setbacks. Because you've learned to view failure not as a dead end, but as an essential part of the journey. One of the first steps to building resilience is to change your relationship with failure. Most people see failure as a negative experience, something to be avoided at all costs. But if you really want to become resilient, you need to view failure differently. You need to understand that failure is not an enemy, but a friend, an invaluable teacher. When you fail, you don't lose, you learn. Failure reveals what doesn't work, and in doing so, it guides you toward what does. Every failure is an opportunity to reassess your approach, to gather new information, and to try again with more wisdom than you had before. If you can begin to view failure in this way, you will find it easier to embrace setbacks rather than fear them. When failure becomes a tool for growth, it no longer has the power to defeat you. Instead of shrinking from failure, you lean into it, knowing that each time you fail, you gain the experience and knowledge necessary to get closer to your goal. Resilient people are not those who avoid failure, but those who understand that failure is part of the process, and they are willing to embrace it with courage and resolve. In fact, many of the world's greatest achievers, from entrepreneurs to athletes to artists, have built their success upon the foundation of multiple failures. They failed, but they didn't let it stop them. They used failure as a platform to rise higher. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. He didn't view those failures as reasons to give up. Instead, he viewed each failure as a step closer to his goal. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is what allowed him to continue moving forward despite the obstacles in his path. Similarly, Michael Jordan, often considered the greatest basketball player of all time, didn't get there by avoiding failure. He was cut from his high school basketball team and missed thousands of shots in his career. But instead of being discouraged by these setbacks, he learned from them, practiced harder, and ultimately became a legend. Failure was not the end for him. It was simply a stepping stone toward greater achievement. In your own life, you will undoubtedly face setbacks, whether in your career, your relationships, or your personal goals. But how you respond to these failures will determine whether you succeed in the long term. Resilience is not about being immune to failure, but about how quickly and effectively you can recover from it. It's about refusing to let failure define you or dictate your future. Instead, you use it as a springboard to launch yourself toward even greater heights. To build resilience, it's essential to develop a growth mindset, which is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset encourages you to embrace challenges and view setbacks as opportunities for growth. When you have a growth mindset, you don't see failure as a reflection of your worth. Instead, you see it as a chance to improve and learn. This mindset is crucial for developing resilience because it allows you to approach failure with a sense of curiosity rather than fear. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," you ask, "What can I learn from this experience that will help me improve?" Another critical aspect of building resilience is practicing self-compassion. Many people are quick to criticize themselves when they fail, but self-criticism only makes it harder to recover. Instead of berating yourself for your mistakes, treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Acknowledge that you are human, and it's okay to fail. Remember that everyone makes mistakes, and no one is perfect. When you can forgive yourself for your failures and move forward without guilt, you free yourself from the burden of self-doubt and create the mental space to learn and grow. Resilience also requires you to stay focused on the long-term goal. When you face a setback, it can be easy to get discouraged and lose sight of your vision. But resilient people are able to maintain a sense of purpose even in the face of adversity. They don't let short-term setbacks derail them from their long-term aspirations. They remind themselves that their ultimate goal is worth the effort, and they keep pushing forward despite the obstacles. Resilience is about being able to weather the storms and keep your eyes on the horizon, knowing that each step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward achieving your dreams. Building resilience also requires the ability to adapt and be flexible. Life is unpredictable, and things don't always go as planned. But resilient people are able to adjust to changing circumstances and find new ways to move forward. When one door closes, they look for another one to open. Instead of stubbornly sticking to their original plan, they are open to new ideas and strategies. They understand that there are often multiple paths to success, and sometimes the best way forward is to pivot and try a different approach. In addition to these strategies, building resilience requires a strong support network. You don't have to face challenges alone. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, support you, and believe in your ability to overcome obstacles. Having a strong support system helps you stay motivated and reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to lean on others when you need it. Resilient people know that seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Lastly, it's essential to celebrate your progress. Even when things aren't going perfectly, take time to acknowledge how far you've come. Recognize the small victories along the way and remind yourself that resilience is built one step at a time. When you celebrate your progress, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of overcoming challenges and achieving your goals. Building resilience is a lifelong process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it requires continuous effort. But every failure you experience is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. By embracing failure, learning from it, and using it as fuel for your journey, you'll develop the mental toughness necessary to succeed in whatever you pursue. The key to resilience is not in avoiding failure, but in embracing it and learning from it. The more you fail, the more you grow. Each failure is an opportunity to build strength, increase your knowledge, and become better equipped to face future challenges. So, the next time you encounter a setback, remember it's not the failure that defines you, it's how you respond to it that will determine your success. With resilience, you can overcome anything. Chapter 8. Prioritize essential tasks to focus your energy effectively. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to be overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks, emails, and distractions that demand our attention. We often find ourselves juggling multiple responsibilities and fighting the constant urge to multitask. The problem with this approach is that multitasking doesn't work. Instead of increasing productivity, it spreads our energy thin, and we end up accomplishing far less than we intended. The key to being productive, to truly moving forward, is not doing everything, but doing what matters most. When you understand how to prioritize the essential tasks, you make better use of your time and energy. In essence, you learn how to direct your focus toward what has the greatest potential to move you closer to your goals. By intentionally focusing on the important tasks and letting go of the distractions, you take control of your life, your work, and your success. Effective prioritization begins with understanding the value of your time. Every minute is precious, and once a moment is lost, it's gone forever. So, how do you ensure that every minute you spend is moving you in the right direction? It all comes down to making intentional choices about where to invest your energy. This is where prioritization becomes the difference between just being busy and actually being productive. To prioritize effectively, you must first get clear on your goals. What is it you want to achieve? Whether it's a personal goal, a professional aspiration, or a combination of both, your goals serve as your guiding compass. They give your actions purpose and direction. Without this clarity, it's easy to get lost in the noise of everyday life, reacting to things as they come, instead of proactively making progress toward what truly matters. Once your goals are clear, break them down into actionable steps. The process of breaking down large goals into smaller, manageable tasks is one of the most powerful strategies you can use. If you want to accomplish big things, you need to do them one step at a time. Small, consistent actions build momentum and make seemingly overwhelming goals achievable. By focusing on one step at a time, you eliminate the feeling of being overwhelmed and can give each task the attention it deserves. Another crucial aspect of prioritization is learning to say no. This might be one of the hardest yet most liberating lessons you can learn. Saying no to distractions, requests, or activities that don't align with your goals is essential to maintaining focus. You might feel guilty about turning down opportunities or requests, but the truth is, every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your priorities, you're saying no to the things that really matter. Remember, the more you say no to the unimportant, the more you're saying yes to the essential. A useful tool for prioritizing your tasks is the Eisenhower matrix. This matrix helps you categorize your tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, tasks that require immediate attention and have a significant impact on your goals. These are the tasks you must tackle first. Important but not urgent, tasks that are important for your long-term success but don't require immediate action. These are the tasks you schedule for later. Urgent but not important, tasks that demand attention now but don't really contribute to your long-term objectives. These tasks can often be delegated or minimized. Not urgent and not important, these tasks are distractions. They don't help you move toward your goals, and they waste your time. Eliminate them as much as possible. By categorizing your tasks in this way, you make it easier to see where your time and energy are being spent. The goal is to spend as much time as possible on tasks that fall into the second quadrant, important but not urgent, because these are the tasks that move the needle in your life. While urgent tasks often demand your attention, they tend to be reactive, whereas important tasks are proactive and help you build long-term success. A major challenge in prioritization is dealing with distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, and they're constantly vying for our attention. Our phones buzz with notifications, emails flood our inboxes, and social media pulls us in with its endless scroll. These distractions are the enemy of focus. If you want to prioritize your essential tasks, you need to create an environment that minimizes distractions. Start by setting boundaries. Create specific times in the day when you focus solely on your priorities. Whether it's a few hours in the morning or dedicated blocks of time in the afternoon, carving out time where you can focus without interruptions is key. Turn off your phone notifications, close your email, and eliminate anything that might pull your attention away from the task at hand. Another strategy for minimizing distractions is to batch similar tasks together. Instead of constantly switching between tasks, group similar activities and do them all at once. For example, you might allocate a specific time to respond to emails, then move on to another task without checking your inbox again. This helps reduce the mental effort of switching between different types of work and makes you more efficient. One of the best ways to stay focused is to track your progress regularly. Keep a daily log of your tasks and check off what you've accomplished. This simple practice not only helps you stay on track, but also gives you a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment as you see how much you're getting done. Regular tracking also helps you identify where you might be wasting time or spending energy on tasks that don't move you closer to your goals. When you begin prioritizing effectively, you also begin to realize that you can't do everything. You can't be everything to everyone, and you can't complete every task on your to-do list. This is where understanding your limits becomes crucial. Prioritization is not just about choosing the tasks that will help you succeed. It's also about recognizing when to step back, delegate, or say no. Delegation is an often overlooked but incredibly powerful tool for effective prioritization. When you delegate tasks that don't require your unique skills or attention, you free up time for the things that truly matter. This allows you to focus on your highest priorities while ensuring that other important work gets done by someone else. A key element of prioritization is understanding that not everything on your list is of equal importance. The ability to distinguish between high-impact tasks and low-impact tasks is what separates successful individuals from those who struggle to get ahead. Ask yourself, what tasks are going to bring me closer to my long-term goals? Focus on those. Everything else can wait, be delegated, or eliminated entirely. It's also important to recognize that prioritization is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Life is constantly changing, and so are your goals and responsibilities. As you achieve certain milestones, you might need to shift your focus to new goals. As you encounter new challenges, your priorities will shift. Regularly reassess your goals and tasks to make sure you're always focusing your energy on what truly matters. At the heart of effective prioritization is intention. When you prioritize, you make a deliberate choice to focus your energy on what matters most. This is not about reacting to whatever comes your way. It's about consciously deciding how to spend your time and energy. The more intentional you are with your time, the more in control you feel over your life. To summarize, mastering the art of prioritization is essential to achieving success. It requires clarity about your goals, the ability to say no, and the willingness to eliminate distractions. By using tools like the Eisenhower matrix, tracking your progress, and regularly reassessing your priorities, you create a roadmap that guides your daily actions toward your long-term aspirations. Prioritization is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most and directing your energy toward the tasks that will have the greatest impact on your life. Focus your energy on the essentials, and you'll unlock the power to achieve your dreams. Chapter 9. Make swift decisions to maintain momentum toward goals. The ability to make swift decisions is one of the most critical skills you can develop on your journey toward achieving your goals. Life moves quickly, and opportunities often come and go in the blink of an eye. If you hesitate, even for a moment, you might miss your chance. Swift decision-making not only helps you seize opportunities, but also allows you to maintain the momentum necessary to keep pushing forward in the face of obstacles. When you make quick decisions, you show yourself that you are in control. You demonstrate confidence in your judgment, and this confidence fuels your drive. On the other hand, indecision creates doubt, and doubt is the enemy of progress. If you constantly second-guess yourself, you'll be stuck in a loop of hesitation, unable to move forward with any real purpose. The key to making swift decisions lies in understanding your goals and values. When you know what matters to you, decisions become easier to make because you have a clear filter through which you can evaluate your options. If a decision aligns with your ultimate goal, make it quickly and move forward. The more aligned your choices are with your values and objectives, the less likely you are to waste time deliberating over them. If you're waiting for the perfect decision or for all the pieces to fall into place before acting, you're holding yourself back. Life will rarely present perfect conditions, and there's no such thing as a flawless decision. Instead of waiting for certainty, trust your intuition and take action. Every decision you make, even the ones that don't work out as expected, provides valuable lessons. These lessons can only be learned through experience. One of the most significant advantages of making swift decisions is the ability to maintain momentum. When you're moving forward, even at a steady pace, you're making progress. Momentum is a powerful force that propels you toward your goals. The longer you delay your decisions, the more you risk losing that momentum. Inaction, or constant indecision, can create stagnation and lead to a loss of focus. Momentum breeds confidence because each decision you make reinforces the belief that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Conversely, hesitation feeds doubt. When you hesitate, it's easy to get trapped in negative self-talk. What if I make the wrong choice? What if I mess things up? These questions might seem reasonable, but they can paralyze you and prevent you from moving forward. But it's important to understand that no decision is ever completely risk-free. Every decision comes with its own set of risks, but the true danger lies in not making a decision at all. When you don't decide, you let life make decisions for you, and that's when you lose control. You need to own your decisions and be willing to accept the consequences, both good and bad. In fact, making mistakes can be one of the best ways to learn and grow. By making quick decisions, you'll also build resilience. When you act swiftly, you're less likely to dwell on potential failure or setbacks. Instead, you move on quickly to the next challenge, which builds mental toughness. You begin to see failure not as a reflection of your capabilities, but as a necessary part of the process. Success comes from learning, adapting, and moving forward, not from avoiding mistakes. An important aspect of swift decision-making is recognizing that not every decision requires the same level of effort or energy. Some decisions are easy, while others require deep thought and consideration. The key is to know when to make a quick decision and when to take more time. For example, if you're facing a decision about what to eat for lunch or whether to take a walk during your lunch break, these are not life-changing decisions. In these cases, swift choices are best. On the other hand, decisions that could affect your career or personal relationships may require more deliberation. But even in the case of larger, more significant decisions, you can still move quickly by having a set of guiding principles to follow. When you know your values and goals, decision-making becomes a matter of alignment rather than analysis. For example, if you have a long-term goal to develop your career, any opportunity or choice that brings you closer to that goal can be acted upon swiftly. You no longer need to analyze every detail. You can make a decision because you already know it serves your greater purpose. Decision fatigue is another factor that can slow down your progress if you're not careful. This happens when you have to make too many decisions throughout the day, which can lead to exhaustion and diminished mental clarity. To avoid decision fatigue, create routines and systems that automate small decisions for you. For instance, you can make decisions about your daily schedule in advance, so you don't have to waste time thinking about what to do next. Similarly, simplifying your options can make decision-making easier. The fewer choices you have, the quicker and clearer your decisions will be. You may think that making quick decisions means rushing, but the truth is, decisions made swiftly often come from a place of clarity and self-trust. When you have confidence in your ability to make decisions, you become more decisive and action-oriented. This, in turn, builds momentum and accelerates your progress. You stop getting caught in analysis paralysis and start moving forward with purpose. A critical aspect of swift decision-making is to let go of the fear of being wrong. Many people hesitate to make decisions because they fear failure. They worry that they'll make the wrong choice and they'll have to deal with the consequences. But here's the truth: every decision has the potential to be a learning opportunity. Even if the decision doesn't turn out the way you hoped, the insights gained from that experience can be invaluable. Failure isn't final, it's just feedback. Learning to make swift decisions also involves understanding that not every decision needs to be made alone. Seek advice, gather information, and learn from others, but ultimately, the power to make the decision lies with you. When you can trust yourself to make decisions, you free up your energy for more important matters. Your ability to make decisions is a skill you can strengthen with practice. The more decisions you make, the better you get at it. Taking ownership of your decisions and making them quickly is a powerful form of personal empowerment. It shifts you from being a passive participant in your life to an active creator of your reality. Swift decision-making empowers you to take control of your circumstances and carve your own path to success. And even when the decisions you make aren't perfect, remember that progress is always more important than perfection. Every step you take, every decision you make, brings you closer to your destination. Your ability to stay in motion is far more important than trying to get everything exactly right. In summary, making swift decisions isn't about being impulsive, it's about being decisive, confident, and intentional. By making decisions quickly, you maintain momentum, build resilience, and keep moving toward your goals. As you practice making decisions with clarity and confidence, you'll find that the process becomes easier, and you'll create a life that reflects your commitment to growth and success. Chapter 10. Live intentionally to build a meaningful and impactful legacy. Living intentionally is the most powerful way to build a life that not only brings you personal fulfillment, but also creates a legacy that impacts others long after you're gone. The concept of legacy is often misunderstood. It's not about fame, wealth, or status. It's about the mark you leave on the world and the lives you touch. Living intentionally means living with purpose and direction, aligning every action with your values, dreams, and aspirations. It's about choosing how you want to show up in the world and making conscious decisions to manifest that vision every day. The first step in living intentionally is to understand that every moment counts. Time is the most precious resource we have, and it's limited. You cannot afford to squander it on meaningless distractions or pursuits that don't contribute to your overall vision. Every action, no matter how small, should be purposeful, aligned with the person you want to become, and reflective of the legacy you wish to leave behind. When you live with intention, your daily actions become the building blocks of the future you want to create. Living intentionally doesn't mean that every decision is grand or monumental. It's the small, everyday choices that compound over time and shape your future. How you spend your mornings, how you treat the people around you, how you approach challenges, these are all part of your legacy. It's the consistent, deliberate choices that form the foundation of who you are and how others will remember you. One of the most powerful ways to begin living intentionally is to reflect on your core values. What truly matters to you? What kind of person do you want to be? What impact do you want to have on the world? These questions are the starting point for building a meaningful legacy. Without clarity on your values, it's easy to drift through life without purpose or direction. But when you know what matters most to you, every decision becomes an opportunity to align with those values and move closer to your vision. Having a clear vision for your life is a critical element of living intentionally. Your vision serves as a roadmap, guiding your actions and decisions. It's important to be specific about what you want to achieve and how you want to feel along the way. A clear vision helps you stay focused, even when distractions arise or obstacles stand in your path. It acts as a reminder that your actions are contributing to something greater than yourself. Once you have your vision and values in place, the next step is to translate them into actionable goals. Living intentionally is not just about having big dreams or lofty ideals. It's about taking real, practical steps to make those dreams a reality. Your goals should be the bridge between your vision and your daily actions. They should push you to grow, stretch your limits, and move closer to the person you want to become. Goals give you something tangible to work toward and help you measure progress. But it's crucial to approach your goals with a mindset of flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and things won't always go according to plan. However, when you live with intention, you can adjust your goals without losing sight of your overarching vision. The key is to stay committed to the process, knowing that each setback is an opportunity for growth. The journey itself is as important as the destination. Living intentionally requires discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action. It's about committing to your goals, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's uncomfortable, and even when the world around you is trying to pull you off course. Living intentionally means making the difficult choices that support your long-term vision, rather than opting for short-term gratification. It's about learning to say no to distractions and saying yes to the things that truly matter. But discipline alone isn't enough. You must also have a deep sense of purpose. Purpose fuels persistence. When you are connected to your purpose, you can overcome any challenge that comes your way. Your purpose is what keeps you going when things get tough, and it helps you stay focused when distractions seem overwhelming. Purpose is the reason behind your actions, and it's the fire that propels you forward. As you live intentionally, you begin to cultivate a deeper awareness of the impact you have on others. Your actions, words, and behavior leave an impression on everyone you encounter. The legacy you build isn't just about your achievements or your personal success. It's about how you inspire and influence those around you. When you live intentionally, you become a role model for others. You show them what it looks like to live a life of purpose, to chase your dreams, and to stay true to your values, no matter the circumstances. Living intentionally also means being present. It's easy to get caught up in future plans or past regrets, but the present moment is all we truly have. When you are present, you engage fully in life, embracing each moment with clarity and gratitude. Being present allows you to savor the little things, the quiet moments with loved ones, the joy of learning something new, the satisfaction of achieving small wins. These moments, when strung together, create a meaningful and impactful life. Building a meaningful legacy isn't something that happens overnight. It's a lifelong endeavor that requires patience, commitment, and unwavering dedication. But when you live intentionally, you can be sure that every step you take is contributing to that legacy. You are not merely existing, you are actively creating a life that matters, a life that leaves a positive imprint on the world. Your legacy is the ripple effect you create. The people you inspire, the lives you touch, and the positive changes you contribute to the world are the true measures of your impact. And the beauty of living intentionally is that you don't need to be famous or widely recognized to create a meaningful legacy. The small, everyday actions, how you show up for others, how you live with integrity, and how you stay true to your purpose, are what truly make a difference. In your journey to live intentionally, don't forget the power of consistency. It's not about doing extraordinary things once in a while. It's about doing ordinary things with extraordinary consistency.